Hey guys, this is Gabriel Lorenzi, creator of the blog Grupo Dicas, one of the biggest travel blogs in the world, and today I am here to talk to you about what to do in Rome. It's not an easy video because Rome is one of the most touristic cities in the world and the one that has the most sites for you to see, but we decided to make a compilation with the coolest tours to mention the main ones and the unmissable ones that you have to include in your itinerary and help you to make your travel itinerary for Rome. So stay tuned because these tips will be quick, useful and not boring at all. So enjoy the video guys, give us a like, subscribe to the channel because that really helps us a lot, and buckle up. Well, Rome is one of the most amazing cities in the world. It was one of the cities that we most enjoyed visiting. We have already traveled there twice because we really like it, and it's a city unlike anything we have ever seen. All the sites, it's a feeling of going back in time. It's like a trip in the historical past while we see in the movies, and it's a nice feeling because you have sometimes some things that are a little more modern, and walking down the street you have those buildings from the last century, so it's something that really messes with your head, and it's a scenario unlike anything you've ever seen. In Rome, the good news is that it's a rather small city. Rome is actually very big, the whole city, but it's much more the residential area. The tourist area is very concentrated, so you can have all the main sites very close to each other if you're well located, which is the golden tip for Rome. You can do everything on foot. We ended up staying in a sensational place in a very good area where we did everything on foot. We didn't need to use the subway and buses, which they say work very well there, but we didn't need to because we were able to go everywhere on foot. There's a video we made about where to stay in Rome that explains this region very well, but if you don't want to see it and to make your life easier, we'll leave in the description of the video a link to a custom map we made. It shows where the best region is, and to focus there on the map, the more centralized within that area near the Pantheon and Piazza Navona is the best location. The farther points are a 30-minute walk away, which is the Colosseum and the Vatican, so you can do everything. So be well located, it will help you a lot to do the tours and to know all the sites that we are going to tell you about now here in the video. A good location there is essential so you can see the map. Well, there's no way to start the list without the Colosseum. It's one of the most important sites in the world, and it's really cool to visit it. It's a sensational experience. It's also together with two other very important sites that you end up seeing the same day. Visit them both or the three together because you can buy the tickets for all three together, which is also the Roman Forum and the Pantheon. So these three are very close. It's nice to already know all three. So the Colosseum is very famous because for decades it served as a stage for gladiators to fight each other. It had all that cool history that we already know from the movies, and to visit the Colosseum ruins is a must. It's very cool. They managed to keep a good part of the Colosseum and the structure preserved, and you can walk around it, all around it. There is a specific ticket, you have to pay a little bit more to see it. Down there, the place where the gladiators used it to stay before the fights, but the normal tour is already very nice. You go all the way around, it's very nice to know. Oh, people, a very nice important tip is about the tickets for the Colosseum mainly, but also for all the other tourist points in Rome. There's a long line to buy the tickets there on the spot, really long. We were scared, so the tip is buy in advance on the internet. We bought and got it in. We passed by these lines and you get directly and pay cheaper because buying the ticket in advance is cheaper, and you don't pay the 6% IOF that you would pay there because it's an international transaction. So buy everything beforehand because it's cheaper and you save a lot of time in line, right? There is a very nice ticket that already includes the Roman Forum, Pantheon and the Colosseum, so buy it all together because you have to visit these three. I'll leave it here in the description of the video, also the link of the site where we bought the tickets. In the last trips we researched it a lot because we always research to save as much as possible. This site always has the best prices. It's a very reliable site with tickets for the whole of Europe, and it also has all the tours and excursions that are close to Rome and Italy, so you can buy everything in one place. It's much easier than going to each tourist site to buy the tickets, so buy everything there. That's very nice, and the tickets help you a lot because you go straight through the lines, so you save a lot of precious time. And another thing, the spots are usually crowded, so try to wake up very early, especially for the most crowded ones. The Colosseum, the earlier you wake up, the better, so try to visit the Colosseum as early as possible, which is the most crowded. And then you walk through the Roman Forum, which is a little bit bigger, which is very nice. The Roman Forum is an area that they preserved that was practically destroyed during the past, during the wars, but they managed to keep it, so you can still see several sculptures, constructions that were kept in pieces. What is left of them, it's a very nice experience. And the Pantheon is also another very cool place that's worthwhile to visit. A tip, be careful when you go because of the summer. The summer there is something we've never seen in our lives. We went there once in July, which is the high of summer, and it was very complicated to do the tours there because most of the tours are done on foot. You walk around a lot the city, and you spend a lot of time in line under the open sky, especially in these street tourist attractions. So if you can choose the months of your trip, take the fall and the spring. That's from February to June, and then from September to November, because in July and August the summer is absurd. It's very difficult. If you go during these months, take a cap and a hat because it's very hot, and try to wake up as early as possible during this time of the summer so you can try to get the sun a little lower, because during the day it's complicated. And take lots of water. In Rome, the cool thing is that they have many fountains and free machines. Take your bottle with you, you can fill it so you don't spend anything. This is a tip to save money, because if you go to buy water in every tourist spot in the stores, you will pay 2-3 euros each. Convert it to your currency and multiply it by the number of bottles that you will drink during whole trip. You will see that it ends up being a very good saving too, because water can be expensive. And here's a tip of a place that we found very beautiful. In my opinion, it's the most beautiful and imposing building in Rome. I was really impressed. It was the Vittoriano. What is it? The Vittoriano is a monument. The cool thing is that it's on the way to the Colosseum, to make sure you plan to see it when you're there. We saw it when we were coming back because we wanted to go quickly to the Colosseum. So coming back from the Colosseum, stopping Piazza Venezia, which is a very beautiful square, and in front of it is the Vittoriano. It was a monument created and dedicated to King Vittorio Emanuele II, which today is one of the biggest museums in the world. You can go in because most days it's free, and it's sensational there. The building is very big. You can take beautiful pictures down there in the square with the monument behind. It's a place that we think is very beautiful. You can do this tour on the same day. And guys, any questions you may have, you can send us a direct message or a message on social networks that we will gladly help you. Follow us there because we're always traveling around the world, showing our travel tips in a very cool way, and they're routinely for a little one, which is great. So send us a direct message and we'll really help you with anything you need. Another tourist spot that you have to put on your list of what to do is the Pantheon. It's one of the most famous buildings. It was made to be a temple of thanksgiving in honor of the Roman gods, but it's a very cool building, but it's not that big, okay? You will not spend so much time there. In half an hour inside, you will get to know everything because there's not so much to see. There are some sculptures, works. The cool thing is the architecture of the Pantheon itself. It's like a half a sphere. The roof is very circular, but at the top it has a circle and opening. So the tip is try to go on a sunny day, and also during the hours that are closer to noon. The sun is up there at noon because the light entering through these holes makes the place very beautiful and creates a special charm. So go, and admission is free. The good thing about this is one that is free. You get in, you visit quickly. This tour is very quick. You don't need to dedicate so much time to it. And the nice thing is that there's a very nice square in front of it, which is the Pantheon Square. You can stay there too, rest a little, have a gelato, a coffee. There are several nice restaurants in this square. We had lunch in one. It's very nice to have wine there, appreciating the square and the Pantheon in the background. So our tip, try to go there at lunch or dinner time. We had dinner there the other day because we really liked this square. It's a very nice place and the best location in Rome, which is the one we told you about. So we stayed very close to there. So every day we went to this square and enjoyed it. And a tip, guys, the gelato. This is a golden tip that we were impressed with the quality of their gelato, which is the ice cream. It's very tasty, it's sensational. We had it almost every day, especially the time we went in the summer. Wow, that's the name of the ice cream. Quick, I have to give you this one real quick, guys. Livia knows this one of the ice cream. It's really good. I have to ask her. Hold on. Lee, very quickly, I'm in the middle of the video. What's the name of the place that we had ice cream in Rome? That's sensational and that you love. Yeah, Fredo? No, Fredo was from Argentina. Venti was the name of the store. Yes, nice, thank you. Okay, there's a tip, that's the most important tip, which is a Gelato Venti. It's a store that has several stores around Rome and Italy. Guys, if you go there, try the Nutella gelato. I've never seen it before. It's a sensational gelato that has giant chunks of melted Nutella. It was the best ice cream we ever had in our lives. Lee and I are crazy about this ice cream. If you can stop by, and if you stop by, take a picture and send it to us. Tag us on Instagram, anything, but give us a signal there and tell us if you liked it, if you didn't like, if you really thought it was worth it, because this kind of interaction is really good and we love it. And one other place that you need to include also, which is sometimes several places you will find, but there are some main ones, they are the squares, which are called piazzas. You will see on the map that most of them will have this name. They are very nice squares that you have to get to know and spend some time there walking, visiting the bars, having a coffee, because it's very nice. One that's very famous is Piazza di Spagna, which is a little bit further up the street, which is very nice. It's a little further north away from the other attractions, but it's very nice. It has super famous staircases where people sit there drinking ice cream. Young people like it very much, so it's a very nice place. It's a different area to visit. There are many stores. It's a little more modern in a region where people have a higher quality of life. And the main one is Piazza Navona, one of the main squares, if not the main square in Rome. Try to spend some time there. There are many monuments, many fountains, and many artists. There is music playing. There are those artists with parrots for you to catch your tickets. There are many people doing magic, and there are many restaurants around. Some people tell you not to eat in these restaurants because they are more expensive, obviously, because they are in the tourist center, but we like it and we think it's worth spending a little more because it's an experience for you to enjoy the place a little. In Piazza Navona, I remember we had lunch in a very nice restaurant and it was not so expensive, just a little more expensive, of course. It was a little more than a restaurant further away from the tourist attractions, but it was very good. You put the bucket and wine there, it's very cheap, so enjoy the wine. We had a lot of rosé wine, especially because it was summer. They give you that bucket of ice and we stayed there for 2-3 hours talking, listening to music, the artists and the square. So it's a cool experience that you have to put it on your list too, because it's very worthwhile and very good. And now let's talk about the most crowded attraction in Rome, because it's small and it's the place with the highest concentration of tourists. The famous Fontana Di Trevi is a very beautiful place, but it has two problems. One is that it's crowded. To get a good picture without anyone appearing in the background is very difficult, and the other is that it's always under maintenance. The 2 times we visited it was under construction, so it had siding, there was a lot of stuff, we couldn't get a good picture of it, but it's one of the main points and you have to go. And the legend says that if you throw a coin there in the fountain, you will return to the city of Rome again, and if you don't throw it, you never return. So you will see that there are a lot of people tossing coins and a lot of people taking pictures. It's a very cool place, very beautiful with a nice architecture. Another tourist point now that's sensational is the Vatican. We're going to talk about it now, but it's a little bit further away, right? But when we say far away, this cool area that we told you to stay in near the Pantheon and Piazza Navona, all these sites that we have mentioned so far are at most 25 minutes walking distance, 20 minutes to it. You will be close to everything, and the Vatican is the farthest point, but it's still close. It's a 35-minute walk. It's a very beautiful scenery, so the walk there is nice. Just the way there, you pass over bridges. These bridges are over the Tiber River. Our tip is try every day to pass by different bridge, because each one has a different architecture, each one has a different view, and it's a very nice experience. And there is one that gives access to the Castle Sant'Angelo, which is very nice, and you will be halfway to the Vatican City, so it's nice to enjoy every single view at once. And arriving in the Vatican, you will see that's not such a big place. It's like a neighborhood. It's actually considered a country in the tip of the pencil. It's the smallest independent country in the world, so it's very nice. It's a very different place to visit, and it's very close to Rome. So when you get there, you will see that the main tourist attraction is St. Peter's Basilica. No way, that's where the gigantic church is, with St. Peter's Square in the middle. That's the square where sometimes the Pope appears in the window of St. Peter's Basilica, where the Pope sits praying Mass or watching the Pope. It's where the famous waiting for the new Pope takes place, when these rituals take place, so it's a gigantic and beautiful square. Our tip, try to go earlier in the day. When we went this time and commented that we ended up catching the time zone, it was good because we ended up waking up every day at 6 in the morning. For us, it's very early, and then we were able to wake up and go to these sites, and it was all empty. We got this square with almost nobody. We had never seen a picture of this square like this because it gets crowded, and we were able to click quickly get into St. Peter's Basilica without any lines, and we already had in hand the tickets that we bought before. Buy the tickets beforehand. There is the website here in the description of the video, and we were able to do the tour much faster and with much more tranquility. The time we got out of there was around 8:30, 9 in the morning, because it takes a long time. It's huge. The basilica is beautiful. You save enough time to get to know it because the inside is sensational. The history, there are guides that are there to show you. It's very nice for those who like it, and for those who are Catholic, it's a sensational experience. But even for those who are not, we recommend the visit because it's something very different. The constructions, the moment I entered and looked at the size of those pillars, the architecture, the design, the sculpture is a wonderful thing. So don't miss it because it's worth visiting. And when we left the square, it was 9 o'clock in the morning. We were even scared because there was a line that went around this square that's very crowded. The important tip, everybody, the dressing, the clothes that you go to enter the basilica, you can't go with very short skirts. It has to be always skirts above the knee, right below the knee, sorry, not above. Otherwise you won't get in, you will be stopped. So try to wear pants on this day that we think is good because you avoid any problems and you show a form of respect to them because it's the culture and it's really what they demand, right? And the shoulders can't be out, so if you are wearing a tank top, take a scarf. You can even buy it on the way. There are stalls that sell it. You put a scarf on top, those, I don't remember the name, that are feminine, cashmere, I don't know, those accessories that you put on your shoulder and then you cover it up. And then there are two important things to do in the Vatican, which is to visit St. Peter's Basilica and St. Peter's Square as well. And there are the Vatican museums. You walk for 15-20 minutes. It's right next to the Vatican there, and you will get to the Vatican museums. They are a series of museums that keep all the history, all the works, sculptures, carpets, everything, and the whole history of the Catholic world and the whole history from the very beginning and up to the present day is sensational. The Sistine Chapel is one of the most popular tourist attractions in Rome. It's a really beautiful place. It's painted from the floor to the ceiling. It's only the floor that you will not see painted, but the walls and the ceiling are painted. It has a very important meaning for the Catholic Church, so it's one of the sites that you have to visit. Be prepared a little bit because in these museums it's a hall that's not so small, but it's very crowded and very tight. It was even a little bit, we don't have claustrophobia, but we felt a little bit of affliction of being in the middle of many people squeezed, standing still, slowly looking at the artwork. So try to go earlier that you don't get it so crowded, but it's a sensational and worthwhile experience. It's very significant, very beautiful, and completely worthwhile. And talking about museums, people in Rome have many museums. It's not like Paris where you go to the Louvre Museum, in Barcelona the Picasso Museum. No, there are many museums. So if you like museums, research and go. There are the 6 Capitolini museums, which are 6 museums scattered around. They are part of the formation of Rome's history, so it's very nice to visit one of them. And there is also the National Museum of Rome, which is one of the most important in the world, so do some research. I won't give details about each one. And that's it, guys. I hope you liked the video. If you like it, please give us a like and subscribe to the channel because that really helps us a lot. And be sure to watch the other videos as well. There's a video about where to stay in Rome, which is good for you to understand well the map and the best regions and the top 10 tips, the best 10 tips to use in Rome. So be sure to watch these because they are very good. And comment here below if you liked this video, right? If you have any tips, what date are you traveling? If you're gonna travel to Italy, where are you going? Comment here because we like this exchange. And don't forget to watch the video on how to save a lot in Italy. It's a sensational video that shows you step by step on how to plan your entire trip, saving a lot on everything and only with quality service. So I'll leave the video, that's the main one, here and below the playlist with all the other videos from Rome and Italy for you to watch. Thank you very much, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video and have nice trips.